Welcome to episode 533 of the podcast. Today, we're going to go into a case study so that we can flesh things out, flesh the ideas out that we've been going over about referrals. So, we're going to come up with an actual case study. And the case study that we're going to use is going to be a pig farmer from Benue State. Now, the reason why I chose pig farming is because I want to show that these principles apply regardless of whatever type of industry you are in. So you can be in a really high fancy corporate type stuff like insurance or corporate finance or whatever, or you could be a simple pig farmer, or you could be a consultant just like I am. But these principles apply regardless. So we're going to see today about how pig farmers or pig traders in Benue State can use the principles that we have discussed in the podcast so far regarding referrals, how to ask for referrals. So, like I mentioned, pig farmers in Benue State typically pigs, well-bred pigs, healthy pigs, real massive sumo type pigs are used in the wedding festivities in Benue State amongst the Tiv people. So it's part of the bride price or the marital covenant or whatever it is that you want to call it, and it's a big part of impressing the in-laws. So like the Maasai, it's the cows. So for the Maasai people, you show up with 10 bulls, real nice healthy bulls, and I think also for is it the Kosa or is it Osa, the Osa people in South Africa. So I think they use bulls. So you show up with nice, healthy bulls, and then the family is impressed. And this cuts across cultures because one of my cousins has spent some time in Scandinavia, and she found out that not only do they have gift giving culture as well, but they also have this thing about traditional wooden shoes, which I think are funny because they don't look comfortable to walk in. But anyway, the bottom line, what I'm just trying to say is that these things about bride price, giving gifts, things like that, they seem to be a near universal amongst cultures. So, yeah, so that's it. Anyway, so back to where we were. Benue State, two people, pigs. So if I was a pig trader in this case, and people came to my stall in the market, and then were haggling over the pig, I would first of all like to make sure that I engage them in some small talk to try and figure out, some of the W's that we've mentioned in the podcast, where, why, when, stuff like that. So why do you guys need the pig? Oh, it's a wedding. When is the wedding happening? Or is it your son who's getting married? Is it your son who's getting married? Oh, congratulations, blah blah blah. All those sorts of questions. And the whole point of asking all these things, what we will call qualification questions. Sorry, not qualifications. Qualification questions. That's where we are trying to find out who it is that we're talking to. The whole point of asking all these questions is to build up some rapport, to get me nice and comfortable with them, comfortable enough to be able to get their contact details. The reason why it's important to get contact details now is because I can't ask for a referral after everything is done unless I have some sort of contact details. Now, for people who are much more involved in formal type setups, like I mentioned here, insurance salespeople, or you're in the corporate space, typically you would already have someone's phone number, you would already have someone's LinkedIn, you would already have someone's email. So asking for a referral later on wouldn't be that difficult because at least you have some open avenues through which you can use to get in touch with that person later on. You could send direct messages on Instagram, LinkedIn, email, or SMS, or just pick up the phone and give them a call. Now, if you're a pig farmer or a trader in these sorts of more commodity type markets, it's not automatic that you have someone's contact details. So the small talk, get real nice with them. Oh, congratulations. Oh, it's a wedding. Is it your son that is getting married or your nephew? Okay, where is it happening? Which village? Which part of Tivland? Oh, yeah, I know those people. In fact, in that part of Tivland, these are the kind of pigs that they like, and blah blah blah. And the small talk is all nice, part of the negotiations process. Gives you quite a bit of rapport, gets you the information that you need to make a good recommendation on the kind of pig that they should buy from you. And then, of course, you get their contact details. And during the conversation, okay, as a list of questions that I put here, the 5 W's, who, what, when, why, how. Okay, how is not a W, but people traditionally include them in the W's. So we now have the wedding date. So it would make sense to call maybe a week or two after the wedding, and they say, "What's up? This is Tavishima, the fellow who sold you the pig for the wedding." Say, "Ah, yeah, I remember you." And then small talk again. How did the wedding go? Were the weddings happy? And then, of course, you do that Niger thing, prayer for the couple. May God bless your son's marriage. It shall be fruitful. Their marriage will be peaceful. Blah blah blah. All that small talk. And the whole point of the small talk in this case is get around confirming all the things that we've been talking about in the prior episodes. We want to confirm that everybody was happy, that the father-in-law was happy with the pig that was received. That the in-laws are happy, and that the people who are going to go and seek for the bride's hand in marriage are also happy as well. That basically everybody was happy with the pig or the number of pigs that were delivered. It is only when we have had all these conversations, where we confirm all these things, that we can now ask for a referral, because now we know that everybody's happy, and we know that our product or service, in this case a pig, was fit for purpose. So now asking a referral in this case is not going to come out of left field. In fact, it's something that is going to flow quite smoothly from the nature of the conversations that we've been having beforehand, the small talk during the negotiations that we had before, and then the conversation that we had after delivery. So if you are a pig farmer, this is how you would go about asking for a referral. So I hope this example has been able to show that all the ideas that we talk about here on the podcast, no matter how highfalutin they sound, they apply to every single business context, especially if you are dealing with a business context that is somewhat complex in nature. There are some sales scenarios that are a lot more simple, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to apply most of these principles, because when it comes to simple sales scenarios, it's usually commodity based. Price is the most important thing. People don't care about relationships. It's all about in and out. So if my wife says, "Go to the market, get me some egusi, I want to make soup tomorrow," that's a simple sales scenario, because I go to the market and there's not going to be anything about negotiating and building relationships and all that. It's a matter of, "Madam, Oga, do you have egusi? I want to buy egusi. 1 mudu, 2 mudus, 3 mudus," and it's in and out. You either have it or you don't. Is either a good price or it's not. So all the things that we're discussing here might not apply. But then when you go up in complexity a little bit, what determines a simple sales scenario from a complex sales scenario? A number of factors. Number one being the price of the thing in question. Now, pigs are not as cheap as egusi. So egusi, well, I haven't been to the market in a while because my wife handles that. So let me just guess that maybe a mudu of egusi is probably, I don't know, $500 or maybe $1,000. Now, pigs, on the other hand, are as expensive as cows, at least in this part of the world anyway. I'm sure some of you listening in other parts of the world, like maybe Israel, where pigs are considered unclean, I'm sure maybe their pigs might be cheap. That's just a guess. But in this part of the world, where pigs are a delicacy, pigs are very expensive. So you're going to be spending hundreds of thousands, 300k, 400k, maybe 500,000 naira, depending on how large the pig is and the kind of the breed of the pig. So now that we're dealing with a very expensive item, even though it's a commodities, it's an agricultural commodity, now a level of complexity has been added, because if you buy a pig but it's the wrong size or it's the wrong breed, then you end up presenting a gift to your in-laws, and then your in-laws will be offended, and then the pig doesn't become fit for purpose. So because we're dealing with a commodity here, we can't say it's a simple sales context. There is an element of complexity now, because even though it's a commodity, it's really an expensive item, and there's a lot of niceties, a lot of delicate. I was going to say delicacies, but that's not the right word. There's a lot of niceties. We have to be sure that we're buying the right kind of pig. So it's not as simple as walk into the market, buy a goosey, and get out. It's walk into the market. This is a really expensive pig. I want to make sure I'm buying the right kind of pig. What are the varieties of pigs that are out there? What are the different weight classes? What are the different sizes? Which part of Tivland is this pig going to? what kind of breed or size of pig do people in those kind of communities prefer. You can see now that things have become a little bit more complex, so we might argue that this is a complex sales scenario. So all the things that we've been discussing about in the podcast so far, you meet people, this is how you start the conversation, this is how you qualify, this is how you find out who they are, the kind of small talk that you can have, this is how you build rapport, this is how you build relationships, this is how you negotiate. After you deliver, this is how you follow up, this is how you handle customer service, protocols, all those sorts of jazz that we talk about on the podcast. I hope I've been able to convince you guys that they do apply. Whether you're a pig farmer, a pig trader, whether you're a wedding photographer, whether you run a beauty outfit and you sell skin oils or whatever, all these principles apply regardless of whatever industry that you are involved in. So we've gone past the 10-minute mark, and I'm going to bring it now to a close. So thank you very much for listening to episode 533 of the podcast. If there happens to be any pig farmer who is listening to this, or a cattle trader, remember that you guys can give me feedback, shoot me messages on WhatsApp or Instagram. Sorry, not Instagram, WhatsApp or Telegram. Yeah, Telegram. The number is 080 6466 2140. Again, the number is 080 6466 2140. You guys can send me a text message, or you can send me a voice note. Any questions, comments, queries, or let me know how stuff has been helpful on the podcast. It helps to hear from you guys because, first of all, that's where I get the some of the questions that we discuss on air over here. And then it would be nice to know how it is that I'm either hitting the spot for you guys or missing the mark. And then that way we can make the episodes much more insightful, much more targeted, and much more useful to you guys. So thanks again for listening to episode 533. I will catch you guys at the next episode.